When first challenged to learn something new, I was really unsure of what topic to choose. While I have a lot of interests, I wanted to do something that challenged me both emotionally and physically, while also being something that Brandon would enjoy as well. If you don't know my husband Brandon, he loves adventure and has always been a thrill seeker, within reason. He's funny, makes me laugh, and always pushes me to be my best. So it goes without saying that he would choose something that raised the bar for both of us and set us soaring to new heights. That's right, the Gonzaleses are taking a page from the greatest show on earth and swinging into the world of trapeze. If you didn't know, the trapeze got its start in 1859 when Frenchman Jules Léotard strung ventilator cords in a bar over his father's swimming pool in Toulouse, France, and began creating a series of airborne tumbling tricks. His form of play turned into the first flying trapeze act. Léotard debuted his act in the Cirque Napoleon. While he only lived a short life, he became a celebrated performer and sex symbol throughout Europe by popularizing the flying trapeze while wearing a skin-tight, one-piece uniform during performances. In recognition, his name, Léotard, still graces these special uniforms and are worn in circuses around the world. From Cirque du Soleil to Barnum and Bailey's, the flying trapeze is still known to set the audience's hearts soaring as aerialists flip and fly and defy gravity. Which leads us to where we began. Brandon, confident as ever, and most likely a natural, and then me, anxious, nervous, and trying to figure out how I got an activity that pairs my fear of heights with my fear of falling.
So when Molly and I made the decision to do trapeze, I couldn't wait. For me, the thought of learning how to fly through the air would be easy as thinking a happy thought.
Any happy little thought?
Yep. Watch me now. Here I go. It's easier than pie.
He can fly! He can fly! He flew!
As for me, I have a fear of heights and of falling, so learning how to fly seemed it would go a little more like this.
Now everybody try. 1, 2, 3.
We can fly! We can fly! We can fly!
In spite of my fears, we decided to pursue the circus life, and I began thinking about how our learning would take place. While I knew that a variety of learning theories come into play, Sacha Barab and Thomas Duffy's view of designing learning environments as practice fields really struck home. It was not until reflecting on my experiences that I would also give a nod to cognitive apprenticeship for providing the design framework for my practice field.
To begin our journey, we did our research looking at everything from trapeze for dummies to how to fly for beginners. Though it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that reading how-tos and receiving direct instruction from YouTube videos was not going to make us experts. So after a few clicks of the mouse and a validated Groupon, we were signed up for our first 2-hour class with Trapeze Austin.
Trapeze Austin shares space with an indoor soccer facility in South Austin. The classes are formal, small group sessions of 6 to 8 participants. Classes begin with everyone stretching out their muscles and learning the 4 main rules. Number 1, don't walk under the net. 2, always listen for your instructors. 3, the ladder is magic and only goes up, so the only way to come down is on the trapeze. And 4, have fun and wait for the hup, which is your signal to jump. According to Barab and Duffy, a cognitive apprenticeship framework emphasizes learning at the elbows of experts. That is, experts are present to coach and model the cognitive activity. After our rules were shared, Russell, our teacher, first coached us through the mental processes that would be taking place after the hup. He shared with us the reality of experiencing cognitive overload after the hup, and gave us ways to work around what they call meltdown. John Sweller's cognitive load theory is similar to meltdown, and it describes the limitations of concurrent working memory load on learning during instruction, and what happens when the load becomes too great. When you leave the platform, there are a list of things to remember to do, all the while trying to think around the fact that you're flying through the air. If this weren't enough, a spotter on the ground is shouting directions to you so that you can achieve perfect timing and mastery of the skill. While the mental strain is a lot on its own, then comes the physical challenge. The last part of our tutorial session and our practice flights are a perfect model of the design principles taken into consideration when developing practice fields. Number 1, domain-related practices. At Trapeze Austin, you must be an active learner, or one who learns by doing. We were all practicing on a low bar within minutes to ensure we knew how to perform the skill after takeoff. 2, ownership of inquiry. We were all responsible for putting in what we wanted to get out of this class. For myself and Brandon, we saw the beginnings of what it means to be a true trapeze artist. 3. Coaching and modeling. In our tutorial session, on the platform, and while in the air, we were constantly being coached and shown how to think and how to become better. Questions were encouraged and we felt supported throughout the entire process. 4. Opportunity for reflection. Coming down from the net, we were asked how we thought we did and what we could have done differently. Reflecting immediately after each practice turn allowed us opportunities to be our own teachers and for our actual teachers to help fill in where our understanding was inaccurate. 5. Dilemmas were ill-structured. Every jump is different and cannot be anticipated for. When you're in the air, it's completely up to you to produce a desired result. 6. Supporting the learner rather than simplifying the dilemma. We were constantly encouraged to think through the problems and solutions ourselves before help was given. In response, I feel much more confident about my decision-making in the air. 7. Work is collaborative and social. You can't be a trapeze artist without proper communication, support from others, and teamwork. This experience cannot be learned through a textbook, but must be done in a social environment. And finally, 8. The learning context is motivating. With every swing and skill, you become more motivated to take yourself to the next level and be better. There is not a moment when you're not challenged or engaged in thinking about the next jump.
Overall, I think we can say with confidence that we are now adrenaline junkies. Molly overcame her fear of heights and falling, and I found an activity where the instructors call me a natural, and I get to fly. I guess you can say it's a win-win, and we have a new motto to live by. Keep calm and wait for the hup!